All right, anyways, I'm actually going to talk about some of this stuff that I've been working on. So I've been working on the concept for the D&D ladder match and just kind of improving that build that I did. So I had those like little structures that I showed, and so I've been working on making an actual video that's not just a vlog and kind of improving that. And so I started out with this. So I saw on somebody's Patreon, they had, a really cool brick carving technique. And that's one thing that I'm actually kind of unsure about with this is if I have a paid tutorial that I watched and I took elements from that tutorial, is it unethical for me to take those elements that I took and used in Minecraft and show it so that people may potentially use that? Or as long as I share that person's information, does that make it okay? But would people even be inclined to go to their stuff if they have taken the bits of techniques that they want that would otherwise have been learned from that tutorial? I don't know. It feels like I'm doing something wrong, but I am just crafting, and yeah, maybe it's not that real. And honestly, my stuff looks like shit compared to his. So this is the first thing that I actually made, and I was trying to use that technique, and I was going to do it like this, and then I was going to put something on top, and that was going to be the platform, but it's too skinny, it's too thin. And then I decided I was going to do, I think it's 2-inch blocks. So I did these 2-inch blocks, and then I was just going to stack them up, and then right next to each other, they just looked like building blocks, and it was just a square. And so then I thought I would do these, I think it's 2-inch by 4-inch blocks, and then I would just cut them in half and then alternate them. Like one faces this way, one faces this way, and then stack them up. And that also felt like I was making building blocks. And I feel like I've just made nothing but squares so far. I think that from a reusability perspective, that these would be better as actual building blocks that I put side by side. Maybe put some magnets on it as a finished piece. Gluing it all together and making this, one big structure would look way better. And yeah, just trying to figure that out. But yeah, I think I'm gonna chill out on the daily hobby vlog format. I still think I want to do them, but I want to work on some bigger projects. My wife told me to make a Warhammer 40k board, and we can learn how to play. And since I don't really know how to play, I've seen boards being made before. I think it'd be kind of a cool thing to do, just because I would be making something without really understanding the implications on gameplay. So making that and then trying to learn on that might be a bad idea, but if I make it and then take it to a local hobby shop where people actually know how to play 40k and ask them to play on this board and kind of get feedback on it, I think that might be interesting, because it could be totally dog shit or it could be really fun, because I don't really know much about the game. I think that makes it a little bit more interesting, but we'll see. Anyways, yeah, too long didn't read. I've been making children's building blocks for the past 3 days, and I don't know how I feel about it anymore.